I will now explain our approach to enhancing online safety for Singapore users, and members will find that there are similarities to the practices elsewhere, examples of which I have circulated. The first is to tackle the problems in an accretive manner. Rather than take a big bang approach, which some countries are attempting, and have an all-encompassing law, let us design our laws in a considered and calibrated manner. Second, as far as possible, be outcome-driven instead of being overly prescriptive. In today's context, we are dealing with the vast volumes of user-generated content. Rather than chasing individual pieces of content, we must ensure that systems and processes to regulate the content are put in place and maintained by the platform. Instead of prescribing how these systems and processes are set up, we should specify the outcomes they ought to achieve. The third, and perhaps the most important of all, is to recognize that laws are not a silver bullet. The government will need to work with partners, including our citizens, to tackle harmful content and enhance the safety of users online. Today's online content service providers are different from traditional local broadcasters and require a different regulatory approach. In fact, each type of service is different. Social media services are not the same as over-the-top media services, which also operate differently from game distribution services. The bill allows us to adopt this accretive approach by building on existing laws to introduce new ones so that over time, our foundations for digital safety become stronger. If passed by Parliament, this bill will create a new part in the Broadcasting Act to regulate online communication services, which are electronic services that enable users to access or communicate content via the internet. The regulations will only apply to specified types of online communication services, which are listed in a schedule under the Broadcasting Act. For now, we will only specify one type of online communication service in the schedule, and that is social media services. Under the bill, a social media service is defined as an electronic service whose sole or primary purpose is to enable online interaction or linking between two or more users, including enabling users to share content for social purposes and which allows users to communicate content on the service.